What's up, y'all? This is Alex from the Rim Review. The Rim Review is a page that offers in-depth basketball analysis and gives nuance to the way you watch the game. With the NBA season starting this week, we're going to be having daily breakdowns of a game that occurred in the previous session. In today's video, we're going to break down last night's game between the Houston Rockets and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, these breakdowns are not going to have every clip from the game, but they are instead going to have a couple of highlights and breaking down the teaching points from each clip. Now let's get into it. We're going to start off on this possession where we're going to focus on the Charlotte Hornets spacing in transition. Right here, after multiple rebound attempts, the Hornets are going to get the ball and immediately pass ahead and pass across. This is extremely beneficial as you're able to continue to move the advantage, as the ball always moves faster than the man. Furthermore, Miles Bridges drives. He gets a paint touch, which causes two defenders to focus in on him. And it also causes everybody else to look at him. When he makes this extra kick out to Brandon Miller, who's running in the trail spot, Dillon Brooks is going to fly out. And Cody Martin does an amazing job running all the way to the corner, and he gets the one more pass for a wide open three-point attempt. Easy money. Right here, the Charlotte Hornets are going to run a double drag action, which we're going to see on this play right here. This is a really common series that every NBA team runs, but the Hornets especially run it at a very high rate. So right here, Brandon Miller makes the first screen and Moussa Diabate makes the second. What's really interesting to note here is Alfred Sengun playing in a drop coverage right here. He's in a deeper drop on the second screen. And what we see here is Diabate makes contact on Van Fleet, and it leads to a wide open three-point attempt. Now right here, the Houston Rockets are going to set a ramp screen, which is when Fred Van Fleet sets this screen right here. And it's followed up into Spain pick and roll between Jalen Green, Sengun, and Van Fleet. For those of you who don't know, Spain pick and roll is an action that NBA teams love. And it's when Sengun, the ball screener, is having his man, Diabate, being screened by Fred Van Fleet. This is really good because it forces the defense to talk and creates some really interesting mismatches. As we see right here, Van Fleet pushes Diabate out of the play, making it difficult and impossible for Diabate to come back. Sengun makes contact on Brandon Miller. Tre Mann is hugged up to his man in Fred Van Fleet and doesn't communicate for a potential switch. And Jalen Green has a wide open path for a highlight dunk. NBA teams rarely get these opportunities, but when they do, Spain pick and roll is a key reason why. On this possession, we're going to see the Rockets just run a middle ball screen. And as this is occurring, Moussa Diabate of the Hornets is playing a very deep drop coverage, which is basically showcasing he's focused on protecting the rim and ensuring that Sengun doesn't get below him. Another reason why I believe the Hornets played a drop coverage at such a low rate rather than having a lower drop or maybe a hedge or an aggressive hedge or a blitz is because Sengun is extremely talented when it comes to knowing when to slip ball screens. And because Sengun is so skilled at that, the Rockets were very worried. Right here, you're going to hit the pocket, and it's just an easy two-point attempt. Because the drop is so deep, look how open this pocket is going to be. Every time Fred Van Fleet just hits it, Vasilije Micic is coming in the gap, and that's the winning play. Easy pocket pass, and once you get this deep, that's just not going to work against NBA level talent. On this possession, we're going to further highlight transition spacing, and here's why this works. Firstly, Diabate is going to run extremely hard, which is drawing the attention of Tari Eason right here. Furthermore, Jalen Green is not picking up Tre Mann in transition, And what the Rockets should do is they should have one of the two of them pick up Trey Mann at a pickup point of around here. And they should have the other one of the two of them come and get the rim in order to protect the rim. And then Reed Sheppard right here and others need to be running back with more pace in order to get back into the play to build a wall and get to guys like Seth Curry. As we see, that doesn't happen, and we're not protecting, like in this image, no one is guarding the ball, and no one is guarding the rim, and no one is building a wall to fan out to the other guys. So no one is guarding anything in transition here for the Rockets. And it leads to a wide open Seth Curry 3, and it's just too easy. Right here on this play, the Rockets are going to set a ball screen at the top of the key. Jalen Green is going to refuse this screen, once again attacking the deep drop of Diabite. LaMelo Ball is worried about a potential pocket pass to Jock Landale here on the roll, and so he's focused on this screen. And while this happens, it's an easy cut and just 2 easy points for Thompson. That's why these happens, because if you're focused on this guy right here, you're getting too low behind your man, too high, and aren't there where your man is, and this is going to work every time, and now you look silly. On this possession, once again, it's another deep drop coverage. We're seeing Nick Richards play right here, and one thing that is really interesting, look at the Hornets' defensive matchups. So Nick Richards is their center, yet they're putting him on Thompson because Thompson is such a non-shooting threat, and they're putting Grant Williams, who's a little bit more mobile, guarding Jock Landale. The Rockets recognize this, and they want to get this deep drop, so they're going to still have Thompson set the screen. The reason why the Hornets are okay with this is because if Thompson decides to pop, they're going to live considering the fact that he's a pretty poor shooter compared to NBA standards. That being said, the Rockets are still getting the deep drop that they want, and when LaMelo is clipped here, he's put in a really tough spot where he has to fight back and recover to get back to even with Reed Sheppard. Now, Seth Curry here maybe could be a step further in to step higher and swipe at the ball, but if that happens, it's an automatic kick for Reed Sheppard, and we have an open 3 on the wing. So really, with this deep drop coverage, you're being able to keep your centers in this type of spot, which is good when it comes to protecting the rim, and it ensures that you don't get beat on splits and things like that. But it does have its drawbacks in allowing guards like Reed Sheppard to get downhill. LaMelo Ball needs to get a little better, and there were some clips where he did a good job of this, of bullying over this ball screen right here. That being said, I really love his effort to fight back and try to get back into the play. I'd also highlight Nick Richards right here. He's backpedaling. The reason why he's not going to step up is because even though this is an open shot, NBA teams are going to live with a mid-range shot before they have Nick Richards step up and lead to a dump off and an easy layup. On this play, we're going to see a screen, and look at Seth Curry here. It's a very similar deeper drop coverage, but they have Seth Curry engaged, swiping at the ball, and he bullies over the ball screen, creating a lack of advantage. That being said, Jock Landale is a little bit of a better shooter from beyond the arc, and he attacks the Hornets this way, and they suffer because he can hit a 3, he pops, and it's easy money. Once again, this is all because of the deep drop coverage. On this possession, the Rockets are pushing the ball up in transition, and what do we see? Nick Richards is guarding the ball handler, and because he's not as mobile, his point of contact in transition is honestly non-existent, and Thompson gets all the way down to the rim for an easy bucket. What I would like to see here when they're early in transition, if Richards isn't going to be playing here, maybe Grant Williams can build a wall, slow him down. Sengun is playing further back. But honestly, every possession where you have your point of contact being in the paint, you're going to be in trouble. All NBA players can get easy buckets in this spot. Right here, the Hornets are going to start off with this pin down screen from Grant Williams. They're not going to hit Miles Bridges here, so they're going to flow into their second action. They're going to hit Grant Williams, And then this is followed up by LaMelo Ball setting this flare screen for Trey Mann. All these off-ball screens are really important, and now we're just flowing in to our second option. So even though this doesn't hit, this screen forces these guys to communicate. As they communicate, LaMelo gets a step. Now we have a dribble handoff. Houston is going to switch this, but Grant Williams is going to slip out early. And now all of a sudden we have a mismatch. I think we could hit Grant Williams in the post here. He has 50 pounds on Van Fleet, not literally, but he's got a lot of weight on him. Instead, we're going to go here, but we continue with good ball movement, make the extra pass, and it's an open three. Right here, this is an ATO that the Hornets ran a lot throughout the game. ATO meaning out of timeout play. So you're going to have this bunch right here. They're going to set this screen. So Miles Bridges is going to come off these screens right here. Seth Curry is going to run to the corner and receive an exit screen from Cody Martin. And this is the first play the Hornets are running outside of the half. So when they were in halftime, they talked about this play. They're going to pitch the ball back to LaMelo. And I want you guys to look at the way the spacing is working. So these two defenders right here, they're occupied with this exit interchange right here. We have two defenders focused on LaMelo Ball. We have this screen occurring right here. And look what happens. Now all of a sudden, Sengun, who is a slower defender, is having to backpedal to meet Miles Bridges, who's running at full speed towards the rim. And that's not going to happen. Beautiful out of timeout play, and Coach Charles Lee is an excellent coach, and he's going to be great for the Hornets, and we see that right here. The Hornets go right back to this just a couple possessions later. That being said, look at how they guarded a little differently. They're switching this pitch right here. Dylan Brooks is now going to stay here. Actually, I don't know if that's Dylan Brooks. It might be. I think it is. My apologies if it's not. But he's going to, I believe it is. Sorry. He's going to stay here, and he's going to catch Miles Bridges. He knows the screen is coming because they ran it earlier. He cheats it, and instead of trying to fight through, he goes under. And now the play is put in a tough spot. Sengun is also playing a step lower, so in case Brooks gets beat, he's ready to catch. But because Sengun is playing so low, now the Hornets are flowing into a side ball screen against this deep drop coverage. And now LaMelo has forced a switch and just let him work. So even the secondary action of this play is highly effective, and it's just good coaching from Coach Lee. On this possession, Nick Richards does what every big should do in transition. Right here, Richards is going to run at full speed, running hard, and now look at this. Because he's running hard, it draws so much gravity from the defense. Nobody even looks at LaMelo Ball. And look at this. You get rewarded. He gets blocked, but he continues fighting. Great effort and a beautiful dunk. On this possession, the Rockets are once again going to go after the Hornets' drop coverage. Nick Richards is playing so deep here, and it really puts Cody Martin on an island, because if he gets clipped like this, who's there to help? You could have LaMelo come up, but if LaMelo comes up, boom, 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 corner three. You're in trouble. You got to have a full rotation. So it's really a risk and reward. But if you have Nick Richards come out higher, you're going to have Sengun slip, get the ball in the short roll, and now Sengun is just making your reads. So this is really a pick your poison situation for the Hornets. And they pick a Jalen Green off the dribble three, and it leads to 3 points. Now right here, the Hornets are going to do a really nice job with their pick and roll coverage. So since the ball screen is occurring on this side of the court, on the wing, they're going to ice the ball screen, which basically means that they're trying to keep the screen and keep the ball on this side of the court. So they force him right here into Diabite, who's ready to catch. Diabite slows him down, and Cody Martin continues to pursue. And what's really interesting is a lot of teams, their principles, if you get right here into the paint, they'll do something called a veer, which is pretty much having Diabite switch onto Van Fleet and Martin switch to Sengun. The Hornets play with more of a higher pursuit philosophy, so they're going to give Cody Martin more time to continue to pursue, and a lot of teams in the NBA will do this and get back to even, and now no switch has to occur. Van Fleet is going to make multiple pump fakes, but Martin does an excellent job staying down. Miles Bridges is caught ball watching and not doing much, so Jabari Smith is able to get a shot. That being said, overall, pretty good defense, and the Hornets get a stop. On this possession, the Hornets do not operate well in transition. So they start off running hard, which is good, but now right here, the spacing is off. As you see, 3 guys put really quickly together. Those 3 guys can be guarded by 2, which you never want in transition. Seth Curry jumps out to intercept the pass from Micic. It's a poor pass to the corner, and it's a turnover. When spacing in transition, I really think the teams should do a couple of things. Firstly, if your big can run, your big should run. If you have somebody running in the trail spot, that's great. I think that Seth Curry was trying to potentially get the ball and curl to get to the rim here, but he settles for this pitch, and I think that's where things were messed up, because he thinks Grant Williams is going to shoot this shot, which isn't a horrible shot, although I think Curry could have gotten downhill. Micic also should sprint to the corner earlier after making this pass, or he should stay here and allow Curry to load to the corner. But when Curry just hovers right here, that's where the mistake occurs. Curry really should be going to this corner, and then you hit Micic, and then Micic makes the extra pass to Curry, and if Jabari Smith jumps out, dump off to Diabite. That's what they should do. But Curry stays there and hovers, and it leads to the mistake that we see here. So spacing is really important, and it does lead to points. Right here, the Hornets are going to have 5 out spacing, and you initially think they're trying to have this dribble handoff, but Reed Shepherd has really pesky hands and fights it here and does a really nice job. But now the Hornets are flowing into a middle ball screen. They're going against drop coverage, and then Trey Mann, who has been really good in the preseason and could be a potential most improved candidate, is going to snake the ball screen and get into a mid-range. Right here in the fourth quarter, in a close game, the Rockets run a beautiful out-of-timeout play. So they're going to start off with this just zip screen to get the ball to Jalen Green, who's immediately going to have a dribble handoff to Dillon Brooks. While this occurs, Sengun is going to flash here. You hit Sengun, and then now we're getting into what is known as a burn action, which is if you hit Sengun and have a handoff right here. But Sengun is going to keep this right here, and now we're flowing in to a zoom, which is this right here, which is really just beautiful basketball flowing into the next action. And it's just really successful. They don't get a shot, but it's just good basketball. A lot of teams also call this a blind pig, which is kind of a silly name. It's based off of Tex Winter's offense back in the day, if that's a fun trivia fact for you. But really good offense, great play design. This is why Ime Udoka is paid as much as he is. It doesn't work, but it's still really pretty. On this possession, I once again want to highlight the importance of running in transition, and Nick Richards does an excellent job. Nick Richards runs extremely hard here, and because he runs hard, he draws the attention of the defense. I think we honestly still should have hit Nick Richards here because he has that height advantage, but he leads to getting Miles Bridges open. The only issue is Bridges isn't ready to shoot, takes an extra dribble, and doesn't get it off. I'd like to have us either hit Richards or have Bridges more ready to shoot going forward. And now the Hornets are just playing. They don't really know exactly what they want to do, and they settle for a tough shot. On this play, the Hornets are going to set a ball screen, and now initially Grant Williams is acting like he's going to set it this side, but he's actually going to twist it and set it this way. This works really well as LaMelo Ball is able to get downhill, hit Grant Williams for a pick and pop three. On this play, the Hornets once again suffer from the deep drop that they're running. LaMelo Ball here needs to do a better job getting into Fred VanVleet, fighting over and bullying this ball screen. Because he gets clipped, VanVleet has an easy bucket. On this play, the Rockets are going right into their Spain pick and roll series, and they get a great mismatch that they're going to attack. And now, VanVleet's going to go downhill, attack this deep drop, and draw a foul. As this game gets closer, the Rockets run another really pretty play as they're flowing in to another zoom. They have this high zoom right here with a screen into a dribble handoff, and it allows Jalen Green to get downhill and get a tough and one. They run the exact same play the next possession, and once again, they're able to get downhill, but Jalen Green settles and still makes a nice mid-range shot. The Hornets here, with the game on the line, are pretty much just going to go with a middle ball screen. After this middle ball screen, Grant Williams is going to pop and immediately flow in to an empty DHO with LaMelo, who hits Grant Williams back and makes a really nice play. Finally, Tre Mann is going to end it off with a nice winning play and a charge to seal the deal. Overall, this was a really impressive win for the Hornets with great coaching on both sides. Let me know tomorrow which team you would like me to focus on next. And once again, thanks for watching the Rim Review.